What's up, Quincy? We'll hang tight here for a little while. Let everybody filter in before we get started. What's going on, Mr. Cordes? Got a few of these from the race. They magically appeared in my truck or my trailer. Jess, I took that sucker apart and cranked it down. We'll see. We'll see. Need some new bearings, but that's not going to happen until after next weekend. Where's my horseshoe truck? Oh, I know, right, Steve? Oh, they're at work with all my other stash. I didn't bring the right trophy. I just added one. I added one. Just added the one that I got. So, are you still there, Crampy? Thought you guys were supposed to go there and do trainer night. Instead, it looks like you guys are drinking. All right, we're ready. We can go. Heath is here. Hey, Julie. So it looks like our crew at the Twisted Spike is checked in. I think the girls are doing trainer night, but I don't know. All the pictures I saw that showed them sitting around a table drinking. So drinking's training. You're right, Nolan. Right, we'll do a little lead in while a few more people check in. So yeah, I'm wearing a little different shirt today, wearing my Jaeger shirt. What is the topic? Just an update, Julie. Just going to do a little update, and got a couple of items I want to take care of, just dirt-wise, and I want to talk about turkey, a little wrap-up, and then I want to talk about Sooner Stampede, and yeah, that's really about it. And then if there's any questions, maybe if they fit in, we'll try to talk about those. So it's no telling what they're training for, David. We train for multiple things. And Tegan just chimed in too. She's there with our crew at Twisted Spike. So Twisted Spike's getting a big plug today. This is my, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is, you know, when your parents go on vacation and they bring you back a t-shirt, and all I got was that stupid t-shirt. So this is when your 21-year-old son goes to California and comes back, and you get a shot glass with sunglasses full of Jaeger, hence the shirt. Hey, Nicole, how are you? She checked in too. And Crash Cooper is in the house. Disc brakes don't work after turkey, just saying. It's just any old mud. I think more of them worked after turkey than after the land run last year, so that's a plus. Jaeger, see, it matches the shirt. Of course, it kind of probably, I don't know, Nike will probably taste better. Tegan, I don't even know what that means. And Alan, yes, that was probably your nighttime before bed drink, Guinness. All righty, let's get rolling. Oh, let's see. Colt texted me a few minutes ago, said it was an NSC. So he just piped in and said he had to take the fat bike down and have it disassembled at the shop. So I think he gave Colt more than his money's worth trying to take that thing apart and get all the mud out. So, oh well, that's why we ride bikes. It's all part of the gig. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Let's go ahead and get started. So, yeah, so drinking a little bit of I think Richie Bean supplied some cold beers for Turkey Mountain, and I snagged a few for the road. So, and a little random here. So I guess shit's getting real. Got that in the mail today. That's an AARP card if you guys can't read that. So whatever. Doug Osment, you are alive. And yes, that's a little bit of a beer. My decorations for the day. This one's kind of hard. Oh, this one's good, easy to see. A little gravel, end run gravel shirt. This is a Watch Talk Challenge shirt. So I'm looking down the road. We got a big spring break for everybody and for a lot of people. So a lot of us are doubling up. We got land run to lead into spring break, and then a little spring break action. We go do Watch Talk. So that's going to be a pretty tough but yet super fun double up. And hey, it's going to be cool. But we got some things to do before that. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of a Dirt to Dirt update. I just want to do a couple of things. So first of all, I want to give a big shout out to Melon Bike. They are and have been our biggest sponsor for 3 years running. They support our Kids Cup, sponsor our Kids Cup, and ran into a little timing issue. We ran out of number plates, and I did not know that we did, and we didn't get plates ordered, so we had to use some backup plates, and didn't get them all up there on the kids this week. And so I just wanted to give a big shout out and say, hey, thanks to those guys. It's amazing what they've done and allowed us to do with the Kids Cup, as well as other things with their sponsorship, and just melonbike.com. And it'll take you, link you to their shop and Facebook page and every place else. And they're all a bunch of good guys. I think, there's several of the guys and I think Lewis is one of the main guys that I deal with, and that you guys have probably met through riding. He's got a small child that's very new, and he had a small injury last year at the end of the season, so probably haven't seen Lewis as much this year, but hopefully he'll shake things out and get out and around later in this year. So anyway, I just wanted to finish with that and say a big thanks to Melon Bike. They're an awesome sponsor, and look forward to continuing that relationship with them down the road. Brandon Reed, yes, Ouachita for sure. While we're on the subject of sponsors, I just want to say that right now we've only got a couple of the $200 range sponsors, and we have Melon Bike on as our large sponsor. We have nobody in the $400 range, so just something that you might think about is, if you guys are out there and know someone that might want to sponsor, we're still looking for sponsors. We usually try to have that fine-tuned by third race, and that's coming pretty close, usually by spring break. So if you guys know anybody or have any contacts and people that are interested and might fit in the cycling community, just let us know. There's information, and it can be done online if you need it. OKTDD.org. And then there is a sponsor tab, and you can get information there. There's even an online form if they choose to do it online, as well as just the guidelines and things that they're going to get. Another additional item that's not on that list that they're going to get is probably down the road during my updates. I'm going to begin interviewing our sponsors as that solidifies, and just have a little sit down and bring them on live and make them part of this broadcast. So, Austin, Wizard drinking game. One drink for every that's pretty bad, huh? I'll start saying it a whole lot then if I know that you're gonna have to drink every time. All right. One last Turd to Dirt item, team challenge. We have a lot of teams. We had several last year. We changed the rules a little bit so that we were doing the top. We previously did the top 5 point earners for the race for your team counted towards the team cup. We changed that to 4, thinking that that small change would allow a lot of the smaller teams to really compete, really be in the hunt, versus in the past only the large teams have won, simply by sheer numbers. And I think it was effective. Not only did Bike Lab take their first cup, but there were several teams that were close. So it made it where it was just not a blowout. Smaller teams were competitive. And so I think we continued that. We need some teams. Bike Lab will have a team. Sound Pony will have a team. In fact, I think I've got the roster already. I've got Team Phoenix's roster. Again, remember, I need a roster. Need it quickly. And it will be $50. There is a form online that you can get to fill out. If not, holler at me. I can get that to you. Honestly, I know most of the guys on your team. Worst case scenario, I need a list of names so I can track who they are, maybe a number or something so I can identify who they are when I'm doing team standings and individual standings. Team Watson will post on the race page that I'll be giving a tour of the Cat 3 course at T-Bird at 3, open to all. Let's see if there's anything else that I missed of Robert's before I say that. No, it looks like just that statement. So Robert Watson chimed in. I'll go ahead and do this since that is, we'll touch on this in a minute because it's a later subject, talking about Sooner Stampede coming up. Robert Watson just posted and said, we'll post on the race page that I will be giving a tour of the Cat 3 course at T-Bird Saturday at 3. So Cat 3 course, T-Bird, Saturday, 3 o'clock, open to all, but going to focus on junior racers. So if you're going to have some kids and juniors that are racing, that's a great time to get out there. Or if you're just new to that course and you want to go check it out, I'm sure Robert could use the help, as well as you could get a quick tour of the course. So awesome. All righty. So summation, team challenge. We need teams. $50 form. Get it to me. We had a team of 6 last year. 6 or 7 or 8 did great. So you don't have to have a big team. All right. I don't see anything that I've missed up in the comments, other than a lot of alcohol talk. So, all right, we're good. Dylan, is that Robert Bevins is in relation to a sponsor? And I'll let Dylan's also asking about T-Bird and how wet it is for tomorrow. So if you guys know some answers, Robert, you can post in there and let Dylan know. All righty. Let's move on to, let's talk about this weekend. Cleo, before I start real quick, Cleo, yeah, technically it's due this Sunday, but it's okay. I mean, just get it to me sometime. If you can't get it to me this weekend, then right after. I just want it before I start calculating the team points. I still haven't done this race, so I just set that deadline so that we start getting it solidified, but I'm not real life or death critical on that deadline. Let's see. Okay, a few comments there. I'm just going to let those roll. Let's move on in. Let's talk about Turkey Mountain. Let's talk about this weekend. So many questions. So much stress. Crazy weather. You don't know what to expect. Everybody thinks it's going to be canceled. We don't cancel it, but I told you here that we probably would not. And I challenged every one of you to not wuss out, come to this race, support it. And I'm super stoked that I don't know if I had anything to do with that or just, you know, Ray, Burn Camp, everything that it stands for, drew people out, a lot of people. You expect a venue whenever you have a race that you know the conditions are not ideal. People bail. They do. They leave. They don't come. And we still had people didn't show up. But if you look at the numbers of this event, it's pretty significant. I don't know the numbers for the Saturday events. We had quite a few. I mean, I would say we had as many, if not more, than last year. And the conditions were pretty sweet last year, even after the postponement. But I just did a count. I double checked and verified the count right before I came on, and we had 200 people in the cross country race on Sunday. I think there were 3 or 4 DNSs, did not starts, but that they still count. That's a number. So we're still talking 200 people came out, rode cross country. That's a big number. 200 is kind of our, you know, our number that we try to break and we try to reach. I mean, so that's significant. I mean, props go out to all the racers that came out, tough conditions, and the promoters for making a hard call, Ray for being stressed out to the max, and hopefully he's resting and showing out a little bit now, although I think he's probably pretty sore from doing trail repair over the last couple of days. That's right. That's right, Alan. You better get your checkbook out. So I can't remember what you said you were going to pay for every rider that came, but we had a big showing. Matt Elder, yes. Matt Elder says the DNS really help when you want to tell your friends and family how many people you beat. It's still a number. It still counts because they registered. You're right. So, yeah, I just can't say enough about what happened this weekend. It went from very sketchy, maybe not even having this thing, to Ray making a tough decision, regretting that decision immediately when it rained all the next day, and then to have this event come together like it did. I may be wrong here, but I think I saw a post that Ray did, and I think he ended up with somewhere in the nature of about 10 grand, which, if I'm correct, it's about $500 a pop to send a kid to Burn Camp. So that's 20 kids that, you know, they just sent to Burn Camp for free. And that's just one Oklahoma local event. It's amazing. It's amazing. Well, I'll see what else. I don't know. I don't have anything else on Turkey. So, I mean, it was an amazing event, and I had a great time. Spent all weekend out there racing bikes and getting dirty, and I don't think my jersey's ever going to come clean, but we knocked the edges off, so it should be good. I do want to touch on one little thing, and just I think a lot of you guys saw the backlash, and you know, backlash comes from some of the usual characters, and then some other people that, oddly enough, we never see at races. And I just want to kind of address the trail damage issue that so many people were offended by. There's a huge difference between having a permitted event, a race, and having to make decisions based on sponsorship and dollars and time and volunteers and everything. Moving a race is huge. Even when you realize that you're riding in less than ideal conditions and trail damage can be done. However, the biggest difference here is that this is an event. It's a conscious decision. We know what's going to take place. And we know that the promoters and any assistance that they're going to get are going to repair any damage that's done. Much different than the Joe Blow that goes out and rides Bluff Creek and then leaves, and they don't come out and help and fix the trail. Huge difference. And as you can see from the pictures that Ray has posted, him and a few people that have gone out and helped him over the last couple of days have essentially repaired everything that was done to that trail. And in fact, some of those sections are probably going to be better now because they've turned dirt over and packed it down where it was already a little bit damaged before. And in fact, he said that there were even a couple of sections that were just in the vicinity that we didn't even ride on that someone else had damaged. And he said while they were there, they just went ahead and fixed it too. So that being said, goes hand in hand with my previous thoughts about trail damage. Trails are way tougher than they look. If you're having a permitted race out there, you fix your damage and all's good. Trail's fine. It's nothing to worry about. In fact, trail's probably going to be better for it. So, all right, enough said on that. Let's move on. See if I have anything in the middle here before we go on down. Oh, one other thing about Burn Camp. Not Burn Camp, but Turkey Mountain. They had a raffle. We had a private donation paid us for an entire series of entry fees. There was someone that won that. We think the name might be Jared, not sure. Ray was crazy and told him to get in touch with me. I haven't heard. So if you know of the person that won the raffle for that free entry for the rest of the season, put him in contact with me. Or if you're out there and you hear this, please get in contact with me and we'll work that out and make that happen. So congratulations. And thanks to the private donor that did that. What they did was private donor gave us the money to cover all the entry fees, and then they donated raffle tickets. So all that money that went in for the donations for the raffle went into the Burn Camp fund. So cool to everybody that did that, and congrats to whoever won it. And like I said, get a hold of me. All right. Last but not least, let's move on to what's coming up this week, this coming weekend. So another double up weekend. Everybody's should be good and rested and getting their training dialed in, their rest back from this weekend, and we're going to get ready to dial up Sooner Stampede. So boys are already out there doing damage control. We've had a little bit of rain, and I guess we had, they had the same ice that we got last week, and looks like we had some trees down. Apparently the crew got out there and cleaned that up. I saw some Facebook posts earlier today about that, and I'm sure that will continue. And they're all real good about not only marking the trail, but posting and talking about that. So you can look out on Oklahoma mountain bike trail conditions as well as True to Dirt page. And everything will be out there posted and available about what's going on with the trail. I think other than maybe a slight chance in the morning, we're pretty much done with rain. Maybe. I think so. I think that's what the forecast said. Could be slightly wrong, but I think they're going to have 2 different courses again this year. Cat 2's the Cat 1-2 course. And then they're going to have a Cat 3 course that's slightly different. I haven't looked at the map, so I probably won't. I'll probably just go out there and ride it and wing it and see what happens. I believe we're going up tabletop and doing Damn It Randy this year if you're a Cat 1 or Cat 2. So that's going to be its own fun little section of hell. So you better get ready to climb and suffer on that section. I said a minute ago that the magic number for a lot of our events is 200, trying to reach that and break that. T-Bird is our biggest event every year. It has been for pretty much since Team Warmup took over. I think, was that 3 years ago-ish, maybe, something like that. And it's grown every year. I think last year over, I don't know, I think it was like sneaking up on 250 maybe. So these guys know how to throw in a good race. They know how to make it fun. We having a monster truck out there again this year, guys? Maybe anybody out there knows? That's always fun. Fun venue, cold beers, great course. It's great. It'll be fun. Should go. Come out, hang out, race bikes. It's all great. I don't really have anything else to discuss. I mean, that's all that's on my notes, unless I missed something, unless you guys have some questions. So I'm going to scroll up, make sure I haven't missed anything. Rod Watson says, green ribbons for Cat 3. And he says, T-Bird is probably a bad idea tomorrow. So let's give it a day. Bob Davis, maybe you can clarify. He said, what is the best advice for first-year racers? Well, let's see. I don't think there's a lot really for first-year racers, except maybe just trying to start hanging out with a group of people that are experienced, talk to people that are experienced. It's all about the details. It's all about the little things. When you're a beginner racer, there's so much going on, so much around you. There's so much happening. There's starts, there's age groups, there's lineups, there's officials calling your name, there's registration tables, there's deadlines, there's multiple races going on at one time. And it's really hard to kind of focus on what you need to do and where you need to be. And so I think just trying to find somebody that knows what's going on, talk to them, and find out what exactly you need to do, where you need to be, where the start-finish line is, where the start line is, where the staging area is, what time you need to be there. All those little things, if you just need to discuss that or prepare that or find that out, so have someone help you do that if you don't know, and then just race your bike and have fun. I think so many people get so stressed out that they forget that you're riding your bike to have fun. So just go out and ride your bike, race it, and have a good time. As for racing your bike and all that, again, new riders, I think a lot of them just show up, jump on their bike, and go. They probably don't even check their air pressure, check to see if their bike is even ready. Give that thing a once over. Make sure you have nutrition, your water, and everything that you need for your event. Make sure you've got a tube. Make sure you've got pump, CO2, anything that you might need to fix a tire, fix a flat. Allen, instead of just a little Allen wrench tool that you can carry in your pocket. And those are all things that you need to think over actually before you get there. So, I usually have a little bag that has all the things that I put in my pockets in a certain bag. So when I get to the race, I pull that bag out of my bucket of junk and I know exactly what needs to go in there. I have a separate Tupperware container that contains my nutrition. I pop a lid on that, and I know exactly. I've already looked. I know how many laps I'm going to do. I know approximately how long I'm going to be out there, and I pull how much food and put it in my pocket that I need. And I usually put a little bit extra just in case I drop something, or maybe I'm super bonked and I need some extra. And I count my bottles and make sure I have enough water for all my laps. And if I need to go put some stuff in a transition area, then I do that. So those are all things that happen way before an event, way before your race starts. So these are all things you need to think about. And ideally, not thinking about them on the race day is much better. Doing this ahead of time, the day before, the night before, and laying everything out is much easier. So when you get there, you can just go race your bike. So anyway, my 2 cents. Let's go down, see if there's anything else. Finishing up. Watch out for deer. Jason says, watch out for deer, being jokingly. Well, you can ask Jess Parker about that. We were doing I think it was probably the last Uno Mas they had, which was before 665 started doing, or it was 665 this year, but 14 warm-up started doing the marathon out there. And Jess Parker and I were together. Jess was about 15 yards in front of me, and we heard this noise coming from the left. And this deer just flew between us, and I thought Jess was going to die that day. I really did. So it happens. A lot, yes. Paul McGinnis Kelly, pre-ride. And I think that's probably good for beginners for sure. Although anymore, I've gotten to the point where I just pre-ride because it's fun. Most of the courses are fairly familiar. So this year, I think it's going to be a little more important because there's some more technical courses. So there's some areas that you really need to go check out and determine whether you need to ride them or not, or whether if you're going to ride them, how you're going to do it. So definitely pre-ride if you can. And that's something you have to think about now with our compressed schedule. If you want to make that happen, it's a lot more difficult because we don't have all these blank weekends in between all of our races. A lot of our races are smashed together. So you have to find those open weekends and go out and get those pre-rides in beforehand, because a lot of times you can't do it except maybe on the day before. I usually just do it on the day before, honestly, unless I just have an open weekend and I'm just messing around for fun. So Alan White, ride your beer, drink your bike. Yeah, okay. That works. Sort of. Crash Cooper, bring an extra helmet. I do bring an extra helmet, but not because I break mine like you, unfortunately. So I'm hoping you got a new one. So yeah. One of my twins leaving. And Robert Watson, yes. As long as the wind stays down, the Blow Up Pub will be there this weekend. That is awesome. If you haven't experienced the Blow Up Pub, I don't even care if you come race your bike. You just need to come experience the Blow Up Pub. It's way cool. Jeremy, I'll do that, but I've seen Crash's Big Melon. He probably won't fit in my little medium helmet. And Robert Watson also posts, pre-register if at all possible. Obviously do that. I think a lot of people just don't. I don't know why mountain bikers just don't pre-register. We're getting better as a group, but mountain bikers just don't like to pre-reg. So, but it helps the promoters a ton, because when you pre-reg, they can get all their start sheets ready prior to the start of the race, and so that eases their workload a little bit. And it makes it super easy for you to come in and get registered. And show up early. Sure, absolutely. Definitely show up early. Just giving yourself plenty of time to get ready makes things easier. Man, Chris Cooper is busting on Chris Drummond. He says, be sure and tighten your shifter bolt. So, any of you guys know what happened? I think Chris took the blame for Rai's shifter coming undone, because he said he checked everything but that one bolt. And Rai still got third, holding the shifter in his hand. Thank you, Heath. I think more props go to the officials and Rain is volunteer crew than anything. I just kind of walk around, talk, shake hands, act like I know what I'm doing. They all have jobs to do. Let's see. David DiGarmo says, do a warm-up before the race. Don't race with cold muscles. So, you know, so many people do not warm up, and it's really amazing that people don't. And especially as you get a little older, as I'm doing, you have to warm up. I'm admittingly not very good at doing it properly, but I do at least make sure that I break a sweat prior to going to that start line. Do some sprints, do some high cadence pedaling, try to do some stuff like that just to get my heart rate up. And I mean, obviously, the more you do, the better. And I'm still amazed at how many people just, they get their gear on, they get their bike ready, and they go straight from their car to the start line. That's it. It's amazing. You would be amazed at how much better of a race that you're going to have when you can settle in and go straight in and not have your heart rate spike and overload and completely blow up right out of the gate in the first 3 minutes of the event. Let's see. Jason says go tubeless. Yeah, definitely. Most everybody at this point have gone tubeless. There still are a few holdouts, but tubeless is the way to go. It's yeah. Enough said. I mean, there's not even any question at this point on what's better, what works the best. So. Jeremy Black says, carry a tube even if you're running tubeless. That is correct, because you never know when you're going to break your valve stem. That's a new one. Alyssa, very good. And we actually touched on this last time. Alyssa says, new rider advice, ride your comfort level. And I talked a little bit about this in my previous live one, and that is exactly it. You know what you can do, know what your skill set is, and obviously you want to push that sometimes, and sometimes you do that in a race, and sometimes you do that pre-ride and just testing things out. But I'm not one to test things in a race. In fact, often there are sections that I try to ride or that I try to do in just pre-riding or riding for fun that in a race I will not do, because I know in a race, if I'm 50-50 or less on cleaning a section, it's usually not worth it for me, especially being single speed. I can just jump off and run it, not lose time, know that I'm not going to burn energy, lose my rhythm, and just get off and run it. When you try to make it, miss it, screw it up, you lose rhythm, your heart rate spikes, you lose time, and you still got to get back on your bike and still get going. So agreed. Know your comfort level, know your skills, and plan it. Again, a race is not a place to test things. Do all that prior to. Jason, exactly right. Keep going. You never know what will happen. You never know what's happening in front of you. You never know that someone's going to drop their chain off their single speed bike 4 times in a race. Yeah, I wonder who did that. So anyway, keep going. You never know what's going to happen in front of you. Exactly. Someone could have a flat. Someone could just be tired. They bonk. You're having a good second half of your race. Come around a corner and guess who's there? Boom. Someone in your category that you've been chasing, hadn't seen all day. So good call. Ha ha. And Kai Cordes, yes, that happens sometimes. Although you probably shouldn't post that because technically that's illegal. Kai says, if you flat, just take Corey's tube and tools and toss, and then pass him back after that, which he did. Yeah, Dylan, that's true. But coming from more of a road and cyclocross area, Dylan's talking about pre-reg, and how a lot of times, especially when you're racing out of state, you look at pre-reg as, gauging whether or not you may go to an event. And it's getting better, I think, in Oklahoma about mountain bikers pre-registering, mostly because they realize that rain or shine, we're going to have the race. Even if it's postponed, we're still going to have the race. It's just going to be moved, so your registration's still good. So more and more do it. And I agree, but it's just kind of the nature of mountain bike scene. Obviously cross and road, more people register online. And in fact, you do triathlons and it's required. You have no option. There is no such thing as day of registration in a lot of the bigger triathlon events. So multi-sport events. Oh, David, no, so false. David Nolting, some people don't have the stamina or the fitness to do a warm-up and a race. Invalid if you're doing the right warm-up. The warm-up is not going to make you tired if you do it properly. The warm-up is going to just heat your muscles up, heat your body up. The idea is to do low effort, enough intensity to get your heart rate up, get your muscles loose, break a sweat. So you're not actually going to fatigue your body. If you're warming up and fatiguing your body, then you're not doing it right. So, all right. Well, we're rolling on pretty late, so I think I'm going to go close up shop. And if you guys have any more questions, be sure and hit me up with some more comments. I'll look at the comments, later on as we do this. I'll get it up to YouTube. There's a link in the initial comment up top. So go to my YouTube page, go to my YouTube channel, and check the button and subscribe. And we'll do this again, I don't know, next week probably. So we'll probably do maybe same time. Kind of see how this rolls. It seems to be pretty good. And then we'll maybe I'll try to bring my laptop and see if we can do some live stuff from T-Bird, maybe if I can find a signal somewhere. So, all right, enjoyed it. See you guys next time. See you this weekend at T-Bird. Sooner Stampede.